Hello, I am Deputy Director Lawful Adam of Falcon Falls News Network, and unfortunately, our rally that we were live streaming for Orange Bear, unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties and could not cover it. But yeah. So we're actually gonna go ahead and start his rally, the Sergeant Maple Bacon rally right now. So let me make our cameraman invisible real quick. And yeah, we will start. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute, and yeah, we can begin.
Alrighty, hello there, guys.
Okay, so obviously a great rally for Sergeant Maple Bacon. We actually have him on the on air right now. Sergeant Maple Bacon, obviously, good talking to you. So I saw that you said a lot of things, and obviously you have a lot of plans for the county, and I mean not for the county, for the state, and you had some nice words to say about both candidates. But I do want to ask you, and I'm sure you touched on this during your rally, but why do you think you are the right candidate for the job?
Right. Well, this question's I wouldn't say challenging, but it's a really good question. Really, there is no right candidate. There's always going to be this one candidate that someone doesn't like. I'm not for everyone. Neither is Orange, and neither is any other candidate within this race. But I'd say I'm the step in the right direction, and so is Matthew, because together we do wish to complete some tasks that would bring the state to a better future. Obviously, as I've elaborated so many times, and I understand that, is obviously the three branches need to be fixed. I believe I'm the best person to do so because I have experience in three branches. Uh, we also need those three branches, as I've said, because if one fails, one either gets the power, they either lose the power, or they just completely disappear, which is a very horrible thing for a state. Obviously, I also do have plans for the administration, as I've said. They're really miniature, but they still are effective, such as electing a new Secretary for Homeland Security. I do also intend on selecting a new Commerce Secretary, because I see them as important. For uh, Secretary of State, I am looking into finding another one because they do play a role within our elections, as said by the Constitution. So I am looking for a Secretary of State.
And is obviously I don't know if you watched our report earlier, but we had a question, and hopefully you'll be able to answer this. Is will expungements and actually getting expungements defined be on your agenda, or will that just be thrown to the side?
There are many ideas that come within amending the Constitution, especially expunging, because I do understand that that's a major thing within states, not just Falcon Falls, but within any other state. That expungements are important. Criminals do wish to switch up; they do have a change of heart, so I find it important to have expungements be effective. This way, obviously, those who have a change of heart could have the ability to switch up their career, maybe get a second chance to do whatever they'd like to do.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So that is a yes. You will plan to
Ye-
do that.
yeah, that is.
Okay, great. And I noticed that your campaign manager was very talkative during your rally. Do you have anything to say about that?
So I do understand that he was talkative. It's who he is. Can't really change him. Uh, I did try and kind of ignore it, not have it distract me, and carry on with the statement because obviously a rally is important. That's how people get to know me and the people I run with better. But yeah, I'll have a talk with him about that. I was planning on having talks with him about remaining a little quiet during certain aspects of the rally. But yeah,
And another question that we have for you is, what led you? And obviously this has been the big story here for the election. You first dropped two of your lieutenant governor picks in Epics and a Garrett Kreisler. What led you to those decisions, and then what finally led you to this decision to pick the Matthew Roblox, who we've noted has not even been in the community for longer than 2 days. So what led you to that decision?
right. So I do understand that it is controversial that I got rid of two lieutenant governors within a short period of time. I apologize for the background noise. That is my brother trying to be annoying. But I do understand that those actions of dropping two lieutenant governors and replacing them is controversial, but I did what had to be done. I found that Matthew was most qualified out of all, so I decided it would be best that I have him take over. Uh, Obviously, as we could see right now, he is doing great. I mean, we've gotten a lot of sessions done. We've gotten amends to the Constitution done. We hope to have more amends within the future. But as of right now, he's doing a great job. And again, he's been a great lieutenant governor, and I believe it'd be best that he has another term and hopefully help me create succession within the state.
Right. But I really want to know, what really was your reasoning, and but obviously you had considered this for quite some time. Um, but what qualifications did you see in them, that eventually you thought they would be a good lieutenant governor, besides what you've seen, in the Senate, which, we have seen that he is taking control, despite the fact that he is a censoring a few members. But yeah, what eventually led you to that?
All right, before we carry on, I do want to say that he wasn't really attempting to censor any senators. I mean, sure, Aegis, who is my campaign manager at this moment, was blocked from certain channels, but those channels did not hinder his ability to do his duties as a senator. What they did was avoid him from talking to the public and being a bad representation of what our legislative branch is. Because what we've seen is Aegis does like to, and I believe many people would agree with me on this statement. Aegis does have this side of him that he enjoys talking, but he does get a little, how do I say it? He purposely gets annoying. And I've had that firsthand experience, but uh, I do understand that you guys got it in the wrong way. You heard the story in the wrong way. But again, I do want to make sure that you guys understand that Aegis wasn't held back or he wasn't blocked from seeing our sessions. He was just blocked from regular chat rooms.
And another question we have for you: Do you think everyone should have the right to view a Senate session as it's happening, rather than viewing a public document after the fact, whether it be in a Trello or something else? Do you feel like every citizen has the right, to be able to watch a Senate session, like as it happens? Obviously, censoring someone from viewing obviously can be seen as very controversial, and even if, things are posted later in the Trello, I really do not believe that it's a good move. Do you think that all citizens have a right to, watch Senate sessions?
I would say yes, but there is an issue that comes with that. Is that say the Senate session comes into this? Say we have a session which specifically goes over state security, and if the session is publicized at that time, we would have issues and we would have an increased vulnerability to our state security, right? We could have acts of terror heightened if those certain sessions are publicized. Obviously, they will be publicized at the end, as is required, and as is my aim to make the government more transparent as we do serve the citizens. But what I believe is that sure, they should have the right to see them during the session, as the session goes on. But there are certain times in which we should keep those sessions private, just for a state security matter, just to keep the people who want to see that session safe and those who are just simply a part of the state.
Right. And so one more question, that we at FFN have for you, is that, what are your thoughts on foreign relations in rose states? Because as you know, in reality, a state would not be, going to war with another state unless it was a civil war. But in that case, they would all have to be combined into a union. So what are your thoughts on foreign relations? And do you think they have? I mean, obviously, you believe that they do have a place since you include it in your agenda. But what do you think foreign relations, is? What do you think is important about foreign relations in rose states? And what will you do, in that regard?
Right. So as you have seen so far, most of the situations in which other states have had is that they've started a war. I don't necessarily want to point out states, but states have attacked other states simply because they are new and they have a chance of succeeding. So when we have foreign policy, when we expand our allies, we begin to have a greater state of security, which is also my goal to improve security within the state. But with foreign policy, we could first improve in commerce and economy, and then we could also improve in state security, which I do find very important, especially economy because that's what brings in more citizens. That's what helps us grow as a state. So I
So
do understand where your thoughts on foreign policy being unimportant. I used to be like that, but I've told myself, I've noticed that it's not really like that. Really, we need allies, we need foreign policy. We just need something to help us get on the right track and something that could improve our security and economy.
so basically you're against state sovereignty and had to piggyback want to piggyback off of other states in order to succeed. Is that where we're
That's
getting?
not what I'm saying. I'm saying that we should work together with other states, not piggyback. There is a difference in which when we work with other states, that means we're currently aiding each other. If I piggyback off another state, we are that's technically saying that I'm trying to hop on their things and they're not going to help us out. Well, how do I say this? They're going to help us out, but we're not going to give anything in return, which is completely false. With a foreign policy and with our relations, we wish to help each other in a situation and hopefully succeed from there. Because as you've seen, states that actually ally have a greater chance of succession than states that don't, and I've been witness to that. It really depends on how everything goes, but we're not going to piggyback off any state. We plan to help just as they help us. Golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. I do understand that it may seem as though we're going to depend on other states, but that's definitely not going to happen because not all states are interdependent. But when we have an alliance, that's going to help us function as a state and progress further.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Just one last thing before we go. Hold on, I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, yeah, okay. What I know you touched on this in your rally, but obviously we have you on voice now. What things do you have to say to the other candidates? Just what do you have to say to them?
Right. So, first off, as always, best of luck. I am friends with both of the candidates. They are wonderful people. I've seen them in action. We've had our fights every then and there, but I've worked together with them. They've done a great job. I don't know what they think of me, but really, the best of luck to them. I mean, after all of this, it's just the Roblox political war. It's nothing that's actually going to influence how we think of each other. So, whatever the state believes is the future, whoever's best for the future, they could go ahead and elect that person. But in the end, all of us candidates are going to be friends. We're just going to be neutral with each other.
Yeah, okay. Well, thank you for letting us interview you. This was Sergeant Maple Bacon, gubernatorial candidate. And yeah, thank you so much for letting us interview you. And we will let you do what you do. All
All
right. So
right.
we just had a interview with Sergeant Maple Bacon, obviously. Said some very interesting things in that interview, obviously. We obviously are not going to endorse any candidate, uh, but we still have the question: is the Matthew Roblox actually qualified for his position? Because that's a question that many of us have. Is simply how long does one have to be in a state before they can be considered able to join? But who knows? Obviously, something is going to happen, and hopefully, the state decides well. So, yeah, I am Deputy Director Lawful Adam of FFNN, and